Hi friends, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life. I hope you had a great day. Some days can be interesting. Today I did not get to some sewing because my husband asked me to go with him someplace that we both we were kind of amused and kind of disappointed. But we're finding that that's what's happening in today's world. People are not truthful anymore, and we thought we were on board, we thought things were going right, and then pow, they come in with a dishonest statement and we just like, we're done. And I think more often than not, we need to start standing up for untruths. When somebody is trying to pull something over our eyes, we stop and we say, no. We need to do that more. So I'm not going to go into what the subject was. All I know is I didn't get a chance to work on some sewing, but he asked me to go. And so I made a choice. Well, I kind of wanted to get a video up, but I was going to do this. And so instead, you know what I did? Is I have been harvesting some Artemisia. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Artemisia alvagaris. Look it up. It's also called wormwood, and it can also be called mugwort. M-U-G-M-O. I'll try that one again. Mugwort. And that's usually the one that it's also called as. And this is what it looks like dried. Isn't it beautiful? It's a very soft herb when it's dried. I think it was kind of dry, soft outside too, but I put it in the air dehydrator. So no heat or anything, just natural air, but it was covered so no bugs got in there and no debris. And it dried up really, really nice. So I want to talk to you about it. Now, it's been available throughout history, and it grows all throughout the world, not just here in the United States. It grows throughout the world, which is pretty great because that means all of us have access to this medicine. But the other part of it is, though, we have Big Pharma who does their thing. Now, is there a bad thing with Big Pharma? No, I'm against pharmaceuticals for a number of reasons, but I also believe they have a purpose. And we have to remember that when they started creating medicines, they used the basis of our herbs to help create those. Things have changed over time in how they create them, and that's for another discussion. But with the herbs, and we still also have to be very careful where you get your herbs. You want to make sure that they're planted in areas that are safe from chemicals and so forth. Because you start adding chemicals to your herbs, you're kind of defeating the purpose of having your herbs. So I grow these here, and this is one of those herbs. It's a perennial I picked up at a neighbor's yard that she was selling a bunch because it just multiplies in her yard. So I told her before I came over, I said, oh, I'm interested in that. And she pulled out another plant. So I have 3 of them, and 2 are outside. And I put the other one in a pot that I put into the greenhouse about a week ago, just to see which one's going to do better over the winter. So this has been well known over the years, and I'm reading something from PubMed. Thus far, numerous authors have confirmed the beneficial properties, and they include antioxidants, antispasmodic, estrogenic, cytotoxic, antibacterial, antifungal, and a few other items. Now, I think this is great. Okay? Now, where it says antioxidant, that is something that we want in our foods and the other herbs that we eat. So you want to consume these things because it helps protect your body from cancer type diseases. And you can look that up to confirm. Now, when you take herbs, including this, you want to be very careful on how much you take. You overdose on this and you can make yourself very sick. So you only want a little bit, and when you do use it, you just use about 3 leaves on average. But I'm going to go over some things that you could use it, and part of that's pretty much the sum of what I wanted to grab out of this abstract. So why I got it, when she listed that this was available at her stand, I'm like, I'm there. I'm going in there and I'm going to get that because it's something that I researched on the onset of Lyme disease. I never bought it. And you can get some of this stuff in capsule form and stuff. But at the time I was researching it, I didn't want to combine herbs and antibiotics. At that time, I was too tired, but I was alert enough to be able to read. And I kept notes. And I just said, okay, this might be something later on if I can't get off. But we were hopeful that the antibiotics would do it all. Well, after a long time, they didn't really give me the results I was looking for, but that's okay because I don't believe in giving up. So let me give you some uses. Okay, let's see. It's good for asthma. How do you use it for asthma? I am going to show you. There is a stem, okay? So you would take that stem right here and like 2 or 3 leaves. So just make the stem about the size of your leaf, which is about 1 to 2 inches, and you put it in some water, some hot water, not boiling, some hot water that you steep for just 5 minutes. And you consume that, and it should help with your asthma. Now remember, don't drink this all day long. If your worst time for asthma is at night, it's the worst time for my husband. That's the time to drink it. Now let's see, it's antispasmodic, and this is good for women who have bladder issues, menstrual issues, Lyme people with, the twitching and all that stuff. It helps there. And how we can use that is, again, it's a cup of tea. And it can also help reduce the pain that might be associated with those spasms. It has anti-diarrhea properties, and I haven't used it for that, or I haven't had a problem where I would need it for that, but hey, life happens. So if that's a concern for you, and usually you use the flowers and the leaves, and I don't know if you can see the flowers at the top. Those flowers and a few of these leaves is what you need. Not a lot, just a little bit. Let it seep for 5 minutes. You'd be amazed at the benefit of herbs and how little you need to be better or for them to work effectively. So let's try another one. So it's anti-malaria, and that's where I started finding out about it when I was researching on Lyme disease natural options. Anti-malaria, and they use anti-malaria pharmaceutical drugs, and I was on one for a while, and that helped. So when I started looking for a natural one, because the other one was really causing stomach upset for me, this came up. But I kept working at trying to use what the doctor had prescribed. So it's been used for malaria for a long, long time. Okay, and there is a study on that. So let's see. Another antiseptic. All right, so you have a cut or you have an infection or whatever the case may be, and you see an infection starting, and there's comfrey leaf you can do this with as well, and there's other herbs that you can just make a compress with. You could even combine comfrey with Artemisia and have this work. You can combine it with a carrier oil or just plain water. And what you do is you put it in your pestle and you just kind of grind it a little bit. Make a compress type thing and put it on, and then wrap it with like a cloth rag or whatever it is you have, and let it sit on it so that it can work on it to keep the infection at bay. Let's see. So the reason that it works with malaria is because it works with worms. There's worms in that. And the other reason that I believe they used it for Lyme disease, if you understand that some of those, it's a spirochete bacterium that gets into your body, which is a corkscrew type bacterium. That means that once that bacteria from the tick gets into you, or however else you get it, it gets into your bloodstream and it starts screwing into your body, and that's how it gets stuck. And there is a film around some of these bacteria, so it's really hard to get rid of the Lyme disease spirochetes. So that's partially why. And then they go into hiding, and this is why a good Lyme specialist doesn't give you 2 weeks of antibiotic, most especially if you've had it for a while. because what happens is the antibiotic goes in there and it starts working, and then the spear sheet goes into hiding, takes a little nap, and then as soon as you stop that medication, it comes out and has a party. Well, what we do is we change the antibiotic therapy in order to make it come out and attack it in a different way, and it'll go right into that area. That is why Lyme specialists go after this with variable antibiotics. It's hard on the person, but that's the goal. And does it work? For a lot of people, it has worked. For some of us who have had it for a long time, to be honest with you, when I finally got diagnosed, I was awful. I was at the point where just lay me down. But after the 4 years, I started feeling better. And there were some things I didn't like about being on all the antibiotics, but it was helping. So it improves digestion. Let's see, antiseptic. So like I said, you can make a compress and just put it on, and it'll take care of that kind of stuff. Nervous problems. Now, nervous problems can come in the form of anxiety, restlessness, insomnia, and also depression. So this can be used to help alleviate that. And these kind of things do come along with Lyme disease, as well as many other diseases. Now, they said that it is best to have it before you go to sleep. I have not tried it yet, and I'm not one who remembers my dreams very much. Once in a while I do, and I wake up, what on earth was that about? And so I might remember some things, but I've never had a tea that did that to me, so I might have to experiment. And but they say that it does that. It improves digestion. I already shared that. You use just about 1 to 2 grams, which is about 2 to 3 leaves, and they're about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So use your best judgment, and please don't overconsume. I guess you can get it in powder too, but don't overdose, because if you overdose, like with even medications, if a doctor gives you an antibiotic for a bacterial infection, don't double dip, because it's not going to help you. It's actually going to make it worse. Okay, sort of like you're not going to be able to use that antibiotic anymore. Now, side effects. Now, in large doses, it's not good. Okay, it can become very toxic. Do not use on children. And it should not be taken during pregnancy, as it can cause uterine contractions. And the pollens are famous allergens and can cause allergies commonly. So even though it is used to treat allergies, just like with anything, if you have an allergy to this herb, then don't use it. Sort of like with pharmaceuticals. There are some things I can't have because of the reaction I get. Now, how do you do the tea? I've already mentioned that you just put some in some warm water, let it steep for 5 minutes. Let's see, what else can I share with you? There was something else I wanted to share with you. Oh, you can make smudge sticks with it. You just take them up, something like this, all right? And you wrap your string all the way around, and then you burn it, and it actually provides a calming effect. Now, I don't have a lot of mugwort here, so I probably won't do a smudge stick unless I get a bunch more from the garden. And there's quite a bit out there, so it's very possible I might try one. I might try it with just one, or I might try it combining it with lavender. And I think that would be nice. You can also use it for skin problems. Now, we already talked about as an antiseptic, but like, say you're getting a rash from something else, you can also make a poultice to put it on that and see if that might help as well. They say it can be used as an insecticide, so you steep it in vinegar. That's how you do it, and you can keep that out, or you can kind of put it in a mister and do it that way. I have not tried it. Remember, this is new to me. I mentioned the smudge stick. I'm kind of excited about that. And the other cool thing is if you get a lot, because this does propagate, this does grow fast, and it can spread. You can use it as a mulch, and what it does is you can put it out as a mulch, and it keeps the moisture into your ground while your other flowers and stuff are growing. So I know I'm really excited about this because I have spasm type issues going on and I still have some side effects of Lyme disease. It's ongoing. This is my life. But you know what? I'm off the antibiotics, so why shouldn't I try something that God put in my way? I mean, yes, I had to go purchase it from my neighbor, but on the other hand, it's available to me and it's growing profusely. And I'm really excited about it because I now have a medicine that might, and I pray, makes a difference for what I'm doing. So I wanted to come on today to kind of share about this medicinal herb, the mother of all herbs. It's Artemisia, Artemisial vulgaris, Vulgaris. You can look up online about wormwood and mugwort and you might find some more information. And when you put mugwort in there, it's Mugwort. You know, I think when we get frustrated where certain things are not working for us medicinally, even though our doctors may be trying all sorts of things, but their hands are tied. Their hands are tied as to what they can use for us. Yet, and I do tell them what I'm using. This is new. I haven't told them yet. But I see my Lyme doctor in a couple of weeks and I will share with him what I got. And I don't think he's going to oppose it, most especially if I tell him my reasons and how it works. And I know that I talked to him about this when I discovered it years back. And he didn't seem to have a problem then, even with my being on the antibiotics. So I think he's going to support me on this. So we shall see. I hope this was informative. It was meant to be informative, most especially if you are one who is wanting to go more natural. And with, I don't want to put down the medical establishment because I have a lot of respect. I worked in it, but things have changed. And it makes it very difficult on some avenues to talk about natural options. And we should have that freedom. That is something that we should have the right to discuss. We shouldn't be poo-pooed and ignored. And I do think the majority of doctors, how about if I say 50%? I really don't know. Most of them do not have a problem with herbs. Some of them don't care because they don't think herbs are going to do anything. But it's just like nutrition. They don't teach people enough about nutrition and how important it is to eat healthy because eating healthy prevents a lot of diseases. And I'm not saying get rid of all your junk food. I'm just saying be smart about your foods. Make the majority of your diet healthy. Fruit, vegetables, not processed. Stay away from the processed food. And you might find that your health improves. So that being said, Artemisia, practice that word. And I think I'm going to make a small smudge stick because it's supposed to be calming. It's supposed to calm your nerves. I think I'll get one ready so that when I'm really anxious, I'll just have that go around. And maybe have some candles and some other things and just make it very mellow. Anyways, I hope that you have a fabulous day and I hope you learned something today because that's my hope. And yes, I do use notes because these go into my binders so that I have something to go back to. And sometimes when we're on live, we forget things. So if I can have my notes in front of me, it helps me as well as share some great information with you. So have a wonderful evening and may God bless you.